Hello. Good afternoon. This is Joan with Joan's Sewing Room. How are y'all today? Well, like always, I'm good. Today I am going to work on the baby quilt. And what I'm doing is I am basing it down to the top, the quilt back. So it's going to be based, here's the quilt back, and here's the quilt top. And in between is the batting. And so I am sewing the quilt top to the quilt back to keep it aligned. So when I start quilting it, it won't move around. Sometimes I forget to do this stitch. So this is what we're gonna do, okay? So I'm going to set the camera so you can see what I'm doing with my big old hand in your way. There we go. Like so. Okay, so let's get started. Now what I'm using here, this is a walking foot. And a walking foot helps you sew when you have extra layers of fabric. So since I have flannel and I have the batting and the backing, it helps all those fabrics to go through and makes it easier to sew. So here I go. Let me move you so you can maybe see better here. Maybe that'll be better, huh? I'm hoping. So what I want to do is stretch, kind of stretch. Not really stretch, but you know, just kind of keep the fabrics flat, of course, when I'm doing this. So I just realized that I was going to hand tie this, and I wasn't going to quilt it. Okay, so I don't have any purple. I could use pink. Pink would be cute. It is for a girl. I guess we'll use that since that's all I have. Kind of matches that. Okay, we'll use that. I'm easy. Now I just need to find a big needle. And that's what we'll do. Okay, so now I find a big needle. Oh. Embroidery thread. Well, we started planting in our garden. I have bok choy started and chard, rainbow, well, I have one rainbow chard. So what I had done was I started some seed. I have an arrow garden, which is hydroponic. And so I started some seeds, and then I plant them and I put them in the greenhouse, and then when they get big enough, they go out in the garden. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to tie this. So tying it is you take embroidery thread, like so. I'm using pink. And you put it on a needle with a big eye so you can get it in there. And so what you do is you just, you don't knot it, you just leave it unknotted. And just go like right in the middle, poke it in there. Pull it through. And I am going to pull on one of these threads because I don't need that much. I'm not going to make them 4. I'm just going to do one thread. That way I can save on thread too. All right. Oop, I just pulled it through. Okay, let's start over again. Okay, so we'll go in the center. Go down through, all through the batting, the front and the back. Then you come back up next to it. Like so. And then you just tie it in a knot, like so. So there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut the edges off and prepare it for putting the seam binding on, the border. Oh. Oop. Knock everything off there. Now I can finish tying this after I finish the quilt. Does not have to be done now. It can be tied afterwards. Okay, so the next step is doing the borders. And I'm using this pink and purple, and it's like little fairy wands with crowns on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little clips and I'm just going to clip it on here. And you always want to start here. You don't want to start up here at the corner. You want to start here. And the reason is that's where you end. And because too, the corners, you're going to minor them. You're going to make them so they're pointed. You know, that's if you want to do it that way. That's the proper way. Doing it. So that's what we're going to do. All the way around. Just going to put it on all the way around like that. Okay, so now we're going to sew this seam binding on. Just like that. And we're going to use the walking foot. So I have purple at the bottom in the bobbin, and I have white on top. Where is the... All right, I'll just put them there. I don't know what I did with the container. And I'm gonna start sewing. Okay, I see ya. I think I'm gonna put it up a notch or two, and I'm going to backstitch. So you really don't need to pin it, you can. This is the corner. So I'm gonna stop about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna stop right there. Then I'm gonna, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, Joan. All right, so we're gonna back stitch. Okay, and now what I want to do is do it like, I'm going to fold it in half, like so. Keep it folded in half. Bring it up like that. See that? Like that. And then I'm gonna bring it up further up. I'm gonna keep it up on the quilt, and then I want to run this so I want to turn it here and start sewing right there, the edge. Took me forever to learn that. Back stitch. Now we're going to start here sewing this down. Let's hope my sewing machine. Right on the edge. Not bad. And now all I have to do is tie it. Okay, so after it's tied, I'll show you what it looks like. Here's, let's see, here's some ties right here. Okay. The next time you see it, it'll be all tied. Okay, good talking. I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye-bye.